What is wrong with the Steelers offense? Play caller, quarterback? What do we got here,
Man.
Lewis? What's happening?
This has been there's been just questions surrounding Matt Canada now for going back to Ben's days, Ben's last years there in Pittsburgh, and philosophically whether or not he really had the right plan relative to what their personnel was at the time. And now, is he able to really call plays situationally that highlight the best players on their football team and really allow them to really be more explosive down the field? Primarily the utilization of George Pickens. Like, why did he disappear late in the game yesterday? Like, why was he not targeted late in the game? How can he not be targeted? And then there's questions surrounding Kenny in relationship, that being Pickett in relation to Matt Canada, and whether or not now people are questioning whether or not Kenny Pickett was someone who was way overdrafted and just doesn't have it, as they say. As we all know, it's never just one or the other. More times, it's usually a blend of both.
Yep.
Matt's not getting it done. Kenny's not getting it done. It's just not matching up with the receiver. They should be better than what they are. And then ultimately, the question is going to be, and I've heard this question surrounding Matt Canada for years now. Why is Mike so fiercely loyal to him? Why won't he move on? Why won't he make a decision like Sean McDermott made with Ken Dorsey and say, look, ultimately you're responsible. You can't. It's not like Mike can't have some of the same questions that other people have articulated about him. And as I've heard, I mean, we all have sources. We all talk to people, and I've heard this. Like this is a real thing in Pittsburgh. It's a real thing externally and internally with that organization. Like, why is he continue to be? But Mike is loyal to him for some reason, man. And I'm telling you, it's not the same situation as it is, with the Jets as far as, an offense that's inept and how it then bleeds over into the performance of the defense. But it's going to start to become that. Now, Mike is one of the great leaders of all time in the NFL, and he won't allow it to fracture this football team. But sometimes you can't help it. When when one side of the ball is not carrying their weight, sometimes you just can't help it. And what happens is guys on whichever side of the ball is outperforming, they start to lose their stinger, man. They just start to lose their attention to detail, and they start coming apart. You saw it happen right before your eyes yesterday with the Jets. The defense just lost it.
Mm-hmm.
Sauce Gardner lost it. Jordan Whitehead lost it as far as the ability to take. And you know what that is? That is a real thing, man. And people are like, oh, the Jets are just overhyped anyway. The defense was never that good. I'm like, that's not true. What you're seeing happen is those guys have said, you know what? Even though I don't want to, it's starting to affect my performance. And you just hope in Pittsburgh, I mean, how many more times can they just pull things out in the end? How can they Mike Tomlin their way out of things before that luck runs out and he has to make a change? I don't know, man. You know how Mike is. Very convicted, and but I just don't. I think it's going to catch up to him.
Catch the Rich Eisen Show every single day on the Roku channel, 12 to 3 Eastern, for free.